Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be talking about my favourite fragrances that I have bought multiple bottles of or plan to get multiple bottles of in the future. It can be for many reasons. One of them can just be because I love the fragrance DNA so much, or it could be because it's been discontinued, and regardless I always want to make sure that I have enough of this fragrance. So we're going to kick things off in the honourable mention spot. Just before we do, remember guys, if you are new, please feel free to drop a like on this video and don't forget to subscribe as well, because we are building a really nice fragrance community and everyone on the channel all share the same thing where we just love fragrances and love to talk about them way too much. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe as well. So we're going to kick things off in the honourable mention spot. And the reason why this fragrance is in the honourable mention is because I know the topic is I bought multiple bottles of it, but this one is a different fragrance. It's a flanker of it, but I feel like it smells so similar that I'm just going to throw it into the video anyway. And to be honest, I probably would buy another bottle of it if I didn't have this other bottle. And the one that we are talking about, it blew me away when I first smelled it. It's so gourmand, it's so sweet, and it's this one here, Latafa Kamara and Kawa. So like I said, they're different fragrances, but they are basically the exact same. This one just has the note of coffee in it, and to me it's just a tiny little bit darker, but they still smell basically identical. Yeah, this one's just a tiny bit more lighter, so it really depends on like if you want more sweet, more dark, but they're basically the exact same thing. Really cool bottle design too. People say that it's a clone of Angel Share by Guerlain, and it kind of is. It's in the same kind of ballpark as it. It's definitely not a clone because there is some differences in this. But to me, it just smells like a really sweet kind of praline cake that you would probably get at like a supermarket. Like I said, it blew me away the first time I smelled it. I was in my friend's car and he's like, "Bro, I've just bought this off TikTok Shop. Give this a try." And I was like, "Oh, wow. TikTok Shop, who the hell is Latafa? I've never heard of Latafa before." Took it off him, smelled the lid, and straight away I'm like, sat in the car next to him, like, oh my god, this is amazing. And straight away, literally the exact same day, I went home and I actually bought a bottle of this. And then since I decided to get this bottle, so Kawa, this is the coffee version, it's just a little bit sweeter. So both of these fragrances last forever, and they're so strong, they get amazing compliments, they smell so sweet, so gourmand. If that's something you're a fan of, then I definitely recommend you pick these up. They're a great option, and they're quite cheap too for being clones. Okay, next up on the list, this is one that I had to buy a bottle of, a spare bottle of, because the first time I had this bottle, it got thrown in the bin. And if you've been around on the channel for a while, you'll know that what I'm talking about is this Acqua di Gio Profumo. This thing is such an amazing, beautifully crafted designer fragrance. It's got that marine aquatic / incense in here. It's just such a manly fragrance, and I decided to get another bottle of this just because it's now been discontinued, and I got this kind of backup bottle because I knew that the bottles are going to be so hard to find because people want to be holding on to it for themselves. I'm no different. I want to keep this thing for myself. If you ever see this going on like eBay or on a Facebook marketplace group, pick it up because it's so good. I'm so upset they discontinued it, but it's so good. So another one we've got is Acqua di Gio Profumo. Next up on the list, the reason why I've probably got multiple bottles of this one is because the bottle size is 35 milliliter and the fragrance is quite light, so I'll just keep on spraying it. And I haven't actually bought any bottles of this lately, and the reason why is because I've actually found a better alternative. And the one that we are talking about is this one here, Rahab Silver. So this is a clone. I got 3 bottles of it, by the way, and this is actually a clone of Creed's Silver Mountain Water. So before Sillage, which is the fragrance I was talking about, the alternative to these, Sillage kind of stopped me from buying these because it's just a little bit better. Before Sillage, there was this though, Rahab Silver, and it was like £7 for 35 ml. And I'm going to see which one I've got the most sprays in. It's going to be this one, because I want to show you how good the sprayer is of this thing. For a £7 fragrance, look at this. Okay, I've probably not got enough in there, but trust me, this thing's a fire hose. It's super cheap, and it actually does smell surprisingly quite nice for the first 30 minutes. After that, it does kind of fade quite quickly, but it's £7 for 35ml. Just keep spraying it, and it's just really nice and refreshing. Okay, coming in at the number 6 spot, I probably could have put this one higher. I put this one a little bit lower just because the opening of it is really, really harsh. It smells a little bit like kind of oven cleaner or like a, like a floor cleaner detergent smell from the lemon. Apart from that, this actually gets me more compliments and more recognition compared to the actual thing that it's cloning. It is another clone, I will be honest. I've actually got quite a few clones on this list. And it's this one here. Club de Nuit Imitation Man. So I've had these bottles for a very long time. I've actually ran through the whole of this one here. This one I'm about halfway through, and I knew as soon as I finished this bottle, this is actually my second most complimented fragrance of all time. It's a Creed Aventus clone, and every time I wear Aventus, I'm not sure if it's because of the performance, but I'd hardly ever get anyone say, "Oh, you smell nice." But whenever I wear this, I know that I'm going to get a compliment most of the time because the performance on it is amazing. In the air, whenever someone's quite far away from you, they're not really going to be able to tell the difference between this and Creed Aventus. It's only when you get close, you're like, holy, this thing is quite bad. But this thing just does a great job for why I bought it, which is a fragrance that I'm going to wear if I want to go out and get compliments on it, and I want to go out and get attention. This is an attention-grabbing fragrance. And it's just really, really nice. I'm always going to have a bottle of this just because it is so cheap. It does smell very similar to Aventus. I think if I pick this up again, I'm going to get the limited edition one because apparently that one is a little bit better. But lemon, pineapple, birch, it's just, oh man. First time you smell this thing, and let's say you've never smelled Creed Aventus, this will give you the idea of what Aventus is. And I remember the first time I actually did smell this, I was like, oh, okay, now I understand why everyone talks about Aventus. So, if you're starting out, this is a really good starting fragrance, and it's the reason why I've got 2 bottles of it. Okay, next one is another clone. I think it's one of the last clones that we have. And this one I had to get a clone of just because, oh man, it's such a good clone. It's actually 90% similar to the actual fragrance that it's cloning. And the reason why I decided to get another bottle mainly was because the first one I got, I swear, like the spray is terrible compared to the new version of it. And it's actually my scent of the day today. And that one is Haramain Detour Noir. And it's just a shame that with this fragrance, how ugly the bottle design is. Like, look at that, man. What is that? And the cap is just terrible. It's so fake. It's so plastic. It's just horrible. But the reason why I decided to get this as a backup bottle is, 1, because I do decant it. 2, the one that I do decant, if you have a little look at the sprayer here, most people rave about how good the sprayer is for this. Look at that. That's not that good. But if we compare it to the newer bottle that I got, have a look at the sprayer on this one. This is insane. This is what I think people were on about. Look at this now. Wow. That is just ridiculous how good this is for a spray. This is probably one of the best sprayers I have in my collection, and it only cost me £20. And like I said, this is an amazing clone of Parfums de Marly Layton. I actually sprayed this on my friend, the clone, and whenever I was like following him, I was behind him in the bars and stuff, and I was like stood by him whilst we were waiting to get a drink, I could smell this fragrance, and oh my god, ever since I realised how strong it projects and how nice it smells in the air, I've been wearing this thing like mad, even in the summertime. It's so good. It's a compliment beast too. And like I said, it smells very similar to actual Layton. So coming in at the number 5 spot, we have got Haramain Detour Noir. Coming in at the number 4 spot, the reason why I decided to pick up a spare bottle of this one is because, again, a little bit like Acqua di Gio Profumo, this one has been discontinued, which is a real shame because I think it was one of the best in the house's lineup. And the one that we are talking about, I've talked about it before on the channel, is this one here. Acqua Amara by Bulgari. And this is a 50ml bottle. I got this for £20 in 2019. And then I picked up another bottle in 2024. This is a 100ml bottle. It's still in the box. For £100. So, yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet. I know I'm probably overspending on this, but because this is such a summer banger, I always get compliments whenever I wear this. Everyone always asks me, bro, what are you wearing? You smell amazing. And it's funny because I always know whenever I spray this, not like in a cocky way, but it's just like, okay, I'm going to spray this. And there's a very high chance that someone's going to pull me aside and ask me what I'm wearing. It's super unique. It's a beautiful marine, kind of like ocean waves and freshly peeled tangerine or orange. It's so nice. It can come off a little bit feminine, but from the white florals in here. But if you can pull it off, again, it's such a good fragrance. It lasts forever. I got this originally because of the hype from Jeremy Fragrance. And it's just a surprise that they got rid of this because it was, in my opinion, their best in the entire lineup. So it's quite weird how they discontinued it. But luckily, 150 ml of juice should last me, hopefully for the rest of my life, let's say. Okay, next up on the list, we are going to be talking about my favourite fragrance house. And this one is a weird one. I didn't think that I would enjoy this one as much as I did. I need to get another bottle of this because I've got about 30 to 40 ml remaining. I have a feeling that with the way that Amouage is going and the direction they're taking the brand, I feel like this one's going to get axed. It's going to get discontinued. So with the amount I've got left in the bottle, because of how much I like it, I feel like I need to pick up another bottle of this. I currently don't. I actually sold it to my friend, my other bottle that I bought, stupidly. But I need to buy a new bottle of that, and that's this one here. Amouage Imitation Man. So Imitation Man smells like nothing I've ever smelled before. If I can describe it to like a real world thing, to me this smells a little bit like pear and brown sugar combined. Most other people compare this to like a smell of like a vinyl record. I can kind of get that. I've talked about this one a fair few times in my Amouage ranked videos, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here. But it's just so unique. Could be a perfect signature scent. I absolutely love wearing this. It's got a beautiful citron note in here that just freshens it up, but keeps it almost smooth and leathery with the leather in here and the rose. Just such a beautiful, unique fragrance that something I've never, ever smelt before. And probably will never smell, but again, because of how unique Amouage have managed to do this one. Okay, coming in at the number 2 spot. This one, again, is a little bit of a weird one. The one that we are talking about is a clone, but I've since now bought the actual thing, the actual bottle. And the one that we are talking about is this one here. That's Très Nuit by Armaf. And this is actually a clone of Creed's Green Irish Tweed. And I actually have a spare bottle of this. It's around my girlfriend's house. So I actually use that one because it's such a good kind of safe fragrance that you can spray, and you know that it's going to work with any outfit, any occasion. So I just wear that one at my girlfriend's house. If I don't have a fragrance to wear, I'll chuck this one on. But I've since bought a spare bottle of this, like I said, and the real thing, just because of how much I like the Creed DNA and how much I like Très Nuit. So what I do with this one is, if I don't want to overspray with this, I'll spray this on my clothes, like 4 or 5 sprays, and I'll spray Green Irish Tweed on my skin because it will develop a little bit better compared to on clothes. So you can layer these two up great. They do smell very, very similar. But this one, for £20, getting a backup bottle of this, the amount that you can spray, the amount of places you can wear this to, like the gym, to the office, out on a night out, I've had some nice compliments with this. Same can be said for Green Irish Tweed. I would probably get a backup bottle of Green Irish Tweed, but because of this, I probably won't. I'll probably take a while to actually go through this one. Either one is super good, but all it depends on is how much you want to spend, to be honest. And coming in at the number 1 spot, this is probably my newfound favourite fall and winter fragrance. It's such a beautiful composition from the house of Zerof. It's probably my second favourite fragrance in my collection currently, and you'll probably be able to tell because I have 3 bottles of this one, and I'm going to get it out now. And weirdly, all 3 of them are different colour, and that one is Naxos by Zerof. So you can see here, this is the darker bottle. We've got the other one, which is hardly any left in it. This is the one I've been decanting from. And then we have another bottle here, which is super light in colour. So I know I recently did a video on has it been reformulated, and I think it has, or there's definitely something different in it, because look how different that is. So Zerof Naxos, honey, tobacco, and lavender, lemon. It's so classy, man. And I get amazing performance with this thing, 10 to 12 hours. I've tested all 3 of them, and they all seem to perform the same. The only difference is when I smell this in the cap and when I smell this from the bottle, there's something in here, like the cashmere or something in here that just smells a little bit different to this one. But they all kind of smell the same. I'm always going to have a backup bottle of it somewhere just in case it gets reformulated again. I wanted to get this newer bottle just to see how much different it is to the darker juice. Luckily there's not a massive difference, but the darker juice one is a little bit more sweet, I feel. But apart from that, they are basically all the same. That aside, like I said, the fragrance is beautiful. It is probably, like I said, my second favourite. The honey in here just is to die for. And it's just such an amazing fragrance. Could be someone's signature fragrance as well. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like I said, if you are a fan of fragrances, don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe too if you haven't already. Let me know down below what fragrances you have got multiple bottles of. It's always interesting to see what other people's tastes are. And if you guys are still watching up to this point in the video, I just wanted to quickly say that, like I said, I've been decanting these fragrances for a while now. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, how do you actually go about decanting? So that brought me to the idea that I may as well just make like a dedicated full guide, a full kind of course on how to actually decant fragrances. And I've recently just filmed all the videos for it. I'm currently putting them all together in a way that makes it really easy to understand. It's going to be up for £10, I think I'm going to price it at. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, reach out to me on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to send you like an early access link or something like that. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.